Who would you talk to? What's going on? It is me, Mike Lepre King, Mike L. This is Legit Fantasy Football, brought to you by LegitPodcast.com. It is October 1st, 2023, which is for the math geeks. 2 1s equals 2. 3 times 2 is 6. No. 3 minus 2 is 1, and then 2 times 1 is 2, so I can get 2s on each side. I had to do that. I know it makes no sense. Joining me, first off, let me just give a shout out. A very happy birthday to, I guess he'd be Dad, just Dad. Brother Ray and I's father passed away in 2007. This would have been his. Geez, Louise. 58 and 23 is he 81st, 81st. Jesus, 81st birthday. Also, a very happy birthday to Gentleman Dave Evans. Happens to share the same birthday with me. I share the same birthday with Ray Corsini's dad who passed away. Odd. Speaking of odd, the comedian, Captain Picard. What's up, Shawn?
Hey, what's up? The Scott Steiner of math, Mr. King Lepre.
Yeah, I battle that. Like I've done it my whole life. Like I look at the numbers on one side of the year, like the month and day, and I try to do math, but not just adding, just to kind of do it like flip it, flop it. You know what I mean? Does it make any sense? No, probably doesn't. But I don't care.
No, I got a scientific calculator to play Doom on. That's about it.
There you go. You know what? What makes the calculator scientific? Like what keys are added to make it jump from a calculator to scientific calculator? Because I know there are certain buttons, right?
Does it spell boobs or boobies? That's the difference.
Boobless.
Oh, boobless. That's what makes it scientific.
That was the dumbest by far calculated trick. Boobless. Because I never even heard the word used. Boobless. Okay. So Matt M1, he is our wild card, and he is not going to make it, I believe. Also, Brother Ray, the king of the tell you at 8:30 that he can't be there for 11 because he had a trip planned to go to like a state up in New England. You know what I mean? It's like, did he just remember this morning? Is that what it was? Are we not forever on his mind? It hurts a little, Shawn. It hurts.
You were always on my mind.
That's that. Depending who sings that, that's a good song. If that makes sense. You know, in the right hands, that's a keeper. So Shawn, first game that's already been going off. It's at halftime. Still, I believe it's maybe coming out at halftime. The Jaguars against the Falcons. Now, the only way, and the Falcons are in the red zone apparently in the third quarter. They scored, actually. It's a touchdown. Hopefully it went to Kyle Pitts for my son's sake, but let's see. Who just scored for Atlanta? Let's find out now. Boy. Nope. By God. By the way, NFL.com, right? If you try to watch a game along with their info, NFL.com, you feel like you're in 1986. That's how far behind you are of the game. You know what I mean?
It was Drake London, by the way.
All right, there it is. See what I mean? Like, I can't even see it. So, anyways, who did you like in this game? The Jaguars I had favored by 3. I got them early in the week at 3, and I took them at 3. They're up 17-7, so I look like a genius, but I'm just being honest. That's why I went with. Who did you like?
Being that the Jaguars are at home, they played this game next week. They're going to be even more at home because they don't have to leave, and they play again in London town. So I love Jaguars. I love them more next week. Spoiler alert.
So, secondly, what was I going to say to you? The Jaguars, right? I would hope that NTN gets a lot of yards in this half. Like, that's what the Jaguars want, and that's what I want as a fantasy owner of NTN. How do you pronounce it? That's how I pronounce it. I would hope him and Bigsby get the rock a lot in the second half. Like, I hope they try to run more on the Falcons, right? You want to just put in Trevor's hand, let him pitch it up by 10.
No, I like Etienne all day long. Etienne. He's got a lot of talent.
He's 6 for 21 so far on the ground. Actually, Trevor has 8 more yards, and he has 2 catches for 13 yards on 2 targets.
The team does so much better when it runs through him, when it runs through Etienne, and then they pass it out. But I'm not the coach.
I've been watching Bigsby, and I'm not sold yet on Bigsby as like the complement to Etienne, like the his name is Tank, but yeah. I don't know if it's quite a tank yet in the NFL. What do you think? I mean, I'm not.
Well, geez, I'm a popular guy, Madam Schefter. The
minivan Bigsby.
Yes. Well, I mean, back to the Giants as always. You had Thunder and Lightning, which was such a good compliment group, and everyone tries to recreate it. As you know, it's a copycat league, and I don't see it happening. Those two together. I like Etienne. I don't like Bigsby.
So you know where that started? This is a funny story. That whole nickname thing. I was at the Giants game, like one of only maybe 10 I've seen in my life. Probably seen maybe 10, maybe more, but not many. And lightning struck against the Cardinals. And they had to evacuate the lower mezzanine because of the lightning.
Mm-hmm.
And from that strike came the nickname of Thunder and Lightning for oh my God, look at me. 40. Oh God, Bradshaw and the Beast, Jacobs.
Yeah.
Thunder and Lightning. They try to do it, I think, once first, though, with Tiki and somebody else. I forget. It might even been Brandon Jacobs and Tiki.
So Ron Dane?
Oh, yeah, Ron Dane. Oh, yeah. Oh, geez. It might have been even that. But eventually, I see Bradshaw and Jacobs whenever I think of the Giants, Lightning and Thunder. That was the official one. I was never a big Tiki fan. Didn't like him. Don't like his face. I don't actually like his face and his smile. His smile reminds me of, the main bad guy on The Boys?
Oh, yeah.
The blonde, whatever his name is. I keep forgetting his name. Like, he's the main, hero.
He was the first guy to have super white teeth. Unnaturally white teeth.
So he reminds me of, Tiki Bar with a smile. He's got that evil. There's evil behind that smile. So where was I even going with that? What was it? Oh, the Giants. So anyways, did you also know that they actually credit the chanting of defense to the New York Giants, that it started in Yankee Stadium, that it was back in, I want to say like the 40s or 50s, maybe the 60s, I think 40s, 50s, 50s. I don't know. I'm bad with time. But the defense started to get really good. And I saw a documentary on it. They were saying it was the first time they started to get the better athletes and put them on defense and then just let them run havoc. And the Giants defense was so good that it would score points. You know what I mean? It was back in the day, obviously. But they actually started to chant for the defense. To me, I don't see how you can credit that to somebody, because somebody else has to have chanted that before. But that's how it kind of goes, right? If you're the first one to kind of get popular with saying something, right?
You also credit to Deshaun Watson. They now did the C-fence. Defense.
What was I gonna say? Defense was a chant. Oh, and you ever see the Key and Peele one? I was hypo. What was it called? What were they saying? The word was I wish I was high on potamus. and then he says a joke. If I have that happen to you, you tell a joke, it doesn't quite get the volume level, and then somebody repeats your joke and they just crush on it.
Oh, I hate that.
Don't you hate
Absolutely.
it? But that actually happens. People don't believe that happens. They didn't think that skit Key and Peele doing about some guy that's just full of himself. But in reality, when you're amongst the guys, or especially the kind of vibe that we grew up with in North Providence, you had to be ready like a gunslinger with insults and jokes like this, because you knew at any point somebody good's coming in the room and right? And no offense taken, boom, we'd go. I'm being serious. It's like the people always ask me like podcasting, how do you keep talking or stay in an argument? I've been arguing my whole life. Everybody around here, that's what we used to do, is make fun of each other and argue.
The legend of King Mike as being Wyatt Earp.
And then people became too sensitive, Shawn. Some people got too sensitive and they changed over time. They couldn't take the same amount of insults. Me, I love a good roast. All right. Speaking of roast, we can talk about last week, and maybe not. Let's get into the games. Last week was Not a great week for me. I wasn't wearing my Giants jersey. Now that I am, let's start with the first game. Now, I wish Matt was here because he's a real Dolphins fan. As opposed to Brother Ray, who's only been a fan his whole entire 50 some odd, almost 60 years of life. Matt's been a Dolphins fan now for the last 2 years. He bought a lot of Tua rookie cards. He's big into that. He was a Patriots fan, die-hard Patriots fan.
Yeah.
Like the first couple of seasons here. Then he was going to go with the Jaguars for a year. And then he settled on the Dolphins. But he still knows all about the Patriots and the Buccaneers. This whole Brady orgy of teams that's coming out of people in New England. Like some people just can't stay the course and stink for a while. They got to go someplace where they can have a party for the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
When people say I have an AFC team and I have an NFC team, I'm like, I was 7 once too.
Yeah. You know what? Someone said that on this show. Someone said this. Who is it? Who was the guest that told me? Oh, it might have been on a paranormal show, to be completely honest. Legitpodcast.com. Someone said to me, well, I have my favorite NFC team is whatever, and my AFC team, and I'm going, stop. I'm like, they're not your favorite teams. There can only be one. There can only be one Highlander. Like, that's it. It just is. Like, if you're a Giants fan, you hate the other teams. If you're a Patriots fan, you have to hate the Jets, Dolphins, and Bills. You have to.
You
have to. All right. So I'm starting with you then, a Patriots fan. Miami goes to Buffalo today. Miami drop 50.
I did some research on this.
Yeah. Go ahead, talk, because this is ridiculous what they did last week. Video games.
In the Super Bowl era of NFL teams, any team that has won by 30 or more the next week has won one time. One time. So that's why my pick is going to be the Buffalo Bills.
Wow. Right out of the gate with hot. All right, so let me talk you through this then.
Yeah.
I like it now that it's 2.5.
Oh, yeah.
I like 2.5. I hate 3 and I hate 1, to be completely honest. Like, because mathematically, there's a lot of 1s and 3s in the spread difference. Just because it's based on 7s and 3s. Anyways, Buffalo is playing pretty good, I think. Like they're doing what Buffalo does and what Cincinnati does. They're getting it all together in the beginning of the year. They're still winning by just still getting everything going. Like, because I'm telling you, man, training camp is nothing anymore. Nobody runs together. Nobody gets hit. So it's like week 1 through 4 is literally like the preseason. They're all trying to figure out how the team's going to work, where everybody stands. But so Miami drops that many without Waddle. That's what blew my mind, right? If you told me Miami scores that much and Waddle's not on the field, I would be like, he's got to be on the field for that. No, but there was no Waddle. So you think about if Waddle was out there, like they may have scored more. I think they may have scored more with Waddle on the field. Like one extra play that didn't go the distance. Might have just went the distance really fast.
I think Denver gave up, honestly and truly. I think I could see Miami winning by like 20, 17. But I think after a while, if you saw those tackles, they were playing flag football, which I know the NFL Go 60 is trying to promote. Maybe that's their way. But really, yeah, go ahead.
It looked horrible, man, because I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Miami made a point out of saying, all right, no, we're going to try to score on every single play we get. And Miami tried to score on every single play they had. They didn't care if Denver was just trying to push them out of bounds. Like, shame on you, Denver. But, Shawn, I can't figure this game out, and here's why. If Miami didn't score so much last week and they weren't coming into Buffalo, I'd be like, Miami's going to win this game. I think Miami's a better team. But unfortunately, you may be right, because I think I took Miami. See, I have Miami plus 2.5 in another bet. So seeing how it's now, it's still 2.5. I like Buffalo. Gosh damn. So Buffalo's going to beat Miami by 3. Miami drops all those points. So my gut tells me that you have to be right with the Bills because of the fact that the one rival's coming off one of the highest scoring things ever. You would want to smack them and show them right away that you're not going to get pushed around. I still got to go with Miami, though. I just think Miami's a really good team. I just think Miami's a really good team. Like,
I would agree.
Unfortunately, Matt is, all of a sudden he's on another good team. I wish I could do that, man. Being a Giants fan all these years, still don't have an offensive line. I'll get to that one. Minnesota travels to Carolina. The Vikings are favored by 5. Over under is 46.5. I'll go first on this one. So, Minnesota is not extremely impressive, but I could be saying that any year, last 4, 5, 6 years, and it could be true. I'd be like, yeah, they're good, but they're just not impressive. Whereas you got to like Carolina's young quarterback. You got to like the spark for some reason that's going on in Carolina. Like, I just like what's going on in Carolina. And the spread is 5. So I'm taking Carolina plus the 5. I just don't see Minnesota beating them by a full touchdown. Like, maybe a field goal they beat them by, What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, if you put it at 5, that would mean because of the home, you would make it 8. And with that, I mean, people think a lot about Minnesota, but aside from Jefferson, they really haven't been showing up this year. I mean, they have so much talent, and I'm going to take Carolina also.
So, you know what it is with Minnesota? So Minnesota, right? They look like a team that's like, how do I compare them to? Like, a team that's always going to make like the NBA playoffs, but they're not going to go far. Like the Hawks. Every time the Atlanta Hawks would sneak in with the 8th seed or whatever, you knew they weren't going anywhere. Like, they're not going to win anything with that team, even though it was fun to watch. It's just, whatever. Same thing kind of with the Vikings. Just not blown away by the Vikings, right? And I like Carolina plus 5. I think that's great. Right there, I think that's a great pick because they may win the game. Who knows? It's gonna be darn close. So all right, we both go Carolina. Shawn, let's go over to Chicago. So now look, Denver, who just got beat and got made fun of, right, in front of everyone, gets to go to Chicago and play Justin Fields, and they're favored by 3. What do you think of this game?
Well, after Claypool had his meltdown last week, it seems like someone from Chicago every week is going to have a meltdown, and that's what this show should be about. We should be picking the person that's going to have the meltdown.
Chicago meltdowns.
Yeah, why not?
And you know what? Actually, if you're watching this show right now, they can hit the like and subscribe button, and in the comment section, tell us who next week from the Bears is going to freak out and go on the TV and just say, I don't like the Bears much at all.
Gotta be Cole Kmet right now.
Might be next. So who do you got?
I got actually Denver this week. I don't, even though they got blown out, I think this week, if they don't show that they have any balls, then they might as well drop into the under league like they do in soccer and get out of here. I mean, their coach says that they were one of the worst coaching jobs of all time, that he lets a 70 burger go up against him. So that's how I feel, and that's why I'm going with Denver.
So Denver gets beat on TV by 50 and eventually by 70. But my whole point was, once it hit 50, that's embarrassing. Plum drops a 5-0 on you. It's embarrassing. You should be embarrassed for like weeks. But what do you do when you're an embarrassed team? You go out the next week. They're all professionals. They all want to prove a point. And who do they get to play? The Bears. The Bears are dysfunctional. So may be said of the Broncos, though. But I think this week, the egos of Russ and everybody else has to win. They have to win big. They're going to win by like 14 points. They have to. They have to beat the Bears soundly. They have to show up on national TV this week. So, yeah, I'm going with you with the Broncos. I think that's another easy pick, to be completely honest. That's right. Carolina and Denver I really like for some reason. All right.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll move on. So Denver, if you think about it last week, they could have scored 50, right? And still lost by 3 scores.
Yep.
You imagine?
No. Two games added up.
Yeah.
Really, it does. It sounds like 70 points is like, that's why I just call it 50. Because I really think anything after 50 points is just God
Yeah.
damn, that's a video game score. You should be embarrassed. Baltimore goes to Cleveland. Right now, it's a pick. Let's see. I had it at. I stayed away from that game, didn't I? Yeah. I didn't remember I had at the beginning of the week. So I don't understand why this is a pick. Why is Baltimore not favored by 1 or 2? What's going on with Baltimore that they're not favored by 1 or 2?
Well, the line changed a couple hours ago just because Watson's not playing anymore. It's going to be
wow.
the rookie, I can't remember his name, is going to be starting for Cleveland. So I think Baltimore, though, they have a ton of players out right now.
Yeah, it's 1.5 right now, Shawn. It changed from 10:30 to now, from a pick game to 1.5.
Yeah. So I'm going with my I'm going with the Ravens.
Yeah.
Caw-caw!
You know what? See, this is one where we might get tricked by Vegas, to be honest, because I'm going with you on that. And I'll even tell you why. So Baltimore's a pick game with this team, right? The starting quarterback comes out, and it only goes to 1.5. Really? Like the Shawn Watson drop down to the rookie is not worth more than like -3. Like only -1.5. I'm gonna bet that right now, to be completely honest. It sounds weird. It sounds like they're tricking us. Like the quarterback only made that much of a change. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like Baltimore. Cleveland is, you know what? To be a Browns fan must be like, you wake up, right? You go to pour your coffee, it shoots out the side. Maybe it ends up in your mug. You go to sit down, right? You sit on something, you fall to the ground, you get up, your dog takes a dump. You know what I mean? You're just sitting there going, oh, boy. Like that. That's how I picture the mornings of a Browns fan. It's just depressing.
I don't think they've seen much sunshine in their lives.
No, you live in Cleveland, right? And you got the Browns. The Browns. For the record, the Browns. The team is called the Browns, right? Their helmet's the only helmet in the NFL that's completely bare. It's just an orange helmet. They picked orange. What are these worse, though? The Browns uniforms, the fact that the Bengals just try to copy them completely. They eventually put the stripes in, but we all remember, if we're old enough, when it said Bengals on just one side of the helmet.
Oh, that's great. I love the worst jerseys. That's kind of why the creamsicle Buccaneers is so good, just because it's so good.
I don't think that's gaudy at all. I think it's one of the I love that old creamsicle color Buccaneers uniforms. Like, there was something about them that was like, you almost want to make fun of them because they're so like bright and like happy. But there was like a swag to it. Like, if they had the right people on that team, those uniforms would be awesome, right? They really could. But make it like a Johnny Depp type character that can play quarterback. You know, he's all drunk and he's a pirate. I think that would prop up the uniforms tremendously. So wait, what game are we on? Oh, we're going to Pitt in Houston. So Pitt's going to Houston. Here's another game that someone's going to explain to me. Pittsburgh's going to Houston, right? What do you think of Pittsburgh so far? Like, seriously, what are your thoughts on Pittsburgh, the team, so far? I'll even look at their standings for a second. So Pittsburgh is 2-1, right?
Yep.
And Houston is 1-2. But Houston scored 66 points in 3 weeks. Pittsburgh has scored 56. They've both given up 70 and 73 points. So the Steelers for the year are 2-1. They have scored 56 points but given up 70. Houston scored 66 but given up 73. Why is Pittsburgh going to Houston favored by 3?
That I don't get. Pittsburgh easily could be 0-3 right now. Pittsburgh, I thought they were going to be much better than they are. They can't find consistent wide receiver help. It's big old, what you would think would be a cripple fight, I think is going to be actually a very entertaining game today, because Houston, very, very underrated. I like the way Houston plays football.
But there's that part of me that says these are the games Pittsburgh does win.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If they're going to eat up some garbage games, and not calling Houston garbage, but they're another mid-pack type team, beating them, always props up Pittsburgh to have better numbers than the team actually is. Like, they're not a 2-1 team to me right now. And the fact that they could beat Houston this week and be 3-1, we're all talking about the Steelers being 3-1, and I just think they stink. I'm stuck on this one because of the point spread. I didn't like 3. I told you I don't like it sitting right on 3. It's not moved. I know you like Houston in this game, but you think that they win? Because that's the only way that I see the points being close. Like, either Pittsburgh wins like a boring 17-10, 21-10 game, or it's one of these like 24-21s at the end of the game.
This is your old salt and pepper game where you push it. But it's not. I think it's just. I don't think. I don't know. I could see it being 21-24. I could see so many different ways. I'm going 21-20 and going with Houston. I think Pittsburgh wins, but I don't think it's going to be by much.
So, see, here I go taking a team that I don't even like, but I like the point spread the way it is. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh -3. If Pittsburgh wins, it'll be by more than 3. Like you know what I mean? It'll be like 7. It's going to be like a 7-point spread. If Houston wins, it's going to be like 3. I'm close to that. Oh, maybe they both Pittsburgh out. I doubt it, but like, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. I'm going to split on you with that. All right. Rams, Colts. Right now, it's still a pick game. The Rams and Colts. Now, I look at the Rams and I think, oh, the Rams should be good. But the Rams should be good, though, right? Right? And the Colts, though, however, are 2-1, and they look good. Like, the Colts look good. Does that make any sense to you? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if you have Anthony Richardson on your dynasty league team, you're the happiest person on earth because that kid looks like he's magic, and he was beating the crap last week. Was it Baltimore that they were playing, and then all of a sudden he get hurt, he's out of the game, and the entire game changes. So I think him to Pittman today is going to be a big thing. I think the Colts actually win over the Rams, even though the Rams got a ton of talent.
So I got to agree. I like the Colts today to win outright. But I'm not sold on Anthony Richardson at all. And I'll tell you exactly why. We just said it. Anybody who comes into the league, a la, what was the guy that played for Washington? What's the kid that came in?
RG3?
Oh, yeah. So that he's like, to me, he is like the perfect example of when people start hyping up a quarterback who can run electrically and throw. Because they come in the league, and the first thing they do is they go to their feet. And they're bigger guys, but they take unnecessary hits. They don't slide. They don't get down, right? And anybody who plays that position who just starts running is going to eventually get hit really hard by somebody coming from the sides. And I don't like running quarterbacks that just do that right off the bat, and especially ones that get hurt. If he starts to get hurt on my fantasy team, I don't want that. I don't want to have to worry about this kid every year. Is he going to get hurt? Like, that's what I didn't like. Like, he needs to run and get down more. I know people don't want to hear that, but I don't want to see him take like head-on shots. He shouldn't be lowering his shoulder all the time. It's the NFL. You know what I mean? You're going to get your bell rung, and he did. And he got hit because he made such a move that he even landed on his head and it bounced.
Yeah.
You can't be a QB, right, drafted the way he was drafted, and allow yourself to be in a position where you're up in the air floating and your head's going to bounce off the ground. Like, you just tuck it in, roll. Jeez. I got to go with the Colts. Tampa goes to New Orleans. So, New Orleans is favored by 3.5. I don't like either team, right? But New Orleans is 2-1, and Tampa is 2-1. Now, New Orleans has scored 53 points this season. Tampa has scored 58 points this season. Right? But then the defenses, Saints have only given up 50. Bucks have given up 59. Those are two really good defenses and average offenses at best. So, with the Bucks and the Saints, is Alvin Kamara back or no?
This week, yep.
All right. So the Saints are now favored by 4. Maybe they heard me. It was 3.5. All right, now it's 4. I like the Saints. I really like the Saints in this because I think it ends up being an ugly game. And a lot of people say, well, if it's going to be an ugly game, like when you take it under 4, something's around 2 or 3. But no, again, this is one of those situations where I think if the Saints win, it's a touchdown. And if they don't, they don't. But they'll win by 4. So I'm going to go with New Orleans.
I think it's an ugly game. I think it's going to be 2017, and I'm taking Tampa Bay. I think that defense is really underrated for Tampa Bay. Even though you would think that that the offense would be the one that's carrying them, but it's really not. It's the defense, believe it or not, that are coming up big during the special moments. They're not great during. No. Anyway,
it is.
So yeah, I'm taking Tampa Bay.
It's breaking news. Baker Mayfield still stinks. Breaking news. He's on a new team, brand new start. Okay. I don't like him. Don't like him. Another guy I don't like his decision making. There's some people, man, that when dude, I hate to be an old guy watching a pro football game and see a young quarterback and know he's rattled in his head. Like when they don't know where to go. Like who did it last week? He threw so many interceptions. I forget who it was, just flinging them. I forget who the kid was, but you could tell his head got rocked, and he was just it was all coming too fast for him. And they just start throwing those balls up. The ones that just go up in the air, and you're like, there's always like one receiver or two receivers in the same spot, and a bunch of defensive backs. Like, it's like, why would you even throw that ball? That's just like giving it up. You're punting. So let's go over to Washington goes to Philly really quick as the NFC. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I am taking the Saints. So we split on that. Washington goes to Philly, right? Now, as the NFC East whisperer, I know a lot about this game. First off, two of the worst organizations ever. I have so many bad stories about both organizations and what they've done illegally, legally, just their crowd, the people, the name change, all the junk that goes into these two teams. The Eagles can't even settle on a green. Mm-hmm. They can never even figure out what green they are. They're always a different green. So I don't like that team, Shawn. Don't ever listen to me. If you ever meet the Eagles or the Commanders, don't trust them. Philly's favored by 9, right? Philly didn't look that great last week. I didn't think. And they're playing a home divisional team in the Commies. And it's 9. I got to take the Commies. They're going to stay within 6 or 7. They know the Eagles well. They know what to do. And then here's the thing. Imagine if Jalen Hurts wasn't playing behind the best offensive line in the NFL every year. What's going to happen when they retire on this kid? And he's got pressure finally coming up the middle, coming up on the sides. Like, sometimes the pockets he gets, dude, I am so jealous. It's like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4, holy shit, 5 Mississippi, and then he throws. With Daniel Jones, I get 1 Mississippi, 2, shoot, what just happened? You know what I mean? I got to go with Philly. Washington. I'll never go with Philly.
Well, it's funny you said don't trust Philly or Washington players. One time, I was coming around the corner, got punched in the stomach. It was Reggie White. Said, oops, thought you somebody else. And they just walked away.
Yep.
He just walked away.
Dude, listen. Remember that Heineke kid?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he must have sent me about 100 emails. Like he wanted to see if I needed more capital for my business. And I don't even have a business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I get those a lot. I get loan offers for my business. And it's like, I don't have a business. Someday I'm going to take them up on the offer, though, Shawn, and I'm gonna get us a big bouncy house. Who do you like? Wouldn't that be awesome? Like an adult bouncy house. And when I say adult, I don't mean sexual. That's the problem with using that word now. I just mean where there's like a basketball hoop that we can bounce and dunk. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. I think where you can bounce and jump into an end zone, try to catch a pass and fall and stuff. Like I would make it more like an athletic bouncy house.
Well, I like to wear a choker when I go into my adult bouncy house, but that's me.
Hey,
I like
teach his own.
Yeah.
That's
I like push pops. I like it all.
That's what I learned in my to each his own.
Mm-hmm.
They're swimming, you're swimming, just keep going in the river. Who do you like, Washington or Philly?
Well, I remember last year Washington was an 11-point underdog to Philly, and they won. I'm going with the same kind of logic, going with Washington.
Yeah.
You are the whisperer.
divisional teams games like this, especially the NFC East, like could Philly blow out the Commies? Yeah, it could be a blowout. It could be a complete blowout, right? Because the teams are totally the talent level is like over here. But could it be made to be an ugly game? Yeah, the Commies can do that. They'll make it ugly for the Eagles. All right, last 1 o'clock game is the Cincinnati Bengals travel to Tennessee. Cincy is favored by 2.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you like in that game, Shawn?
Well, a friend of mine told me Tennessee, but I don't like Tennessee because I mean, I used to think the world of Vrabel, but the way he ended last year and the way he's really coaching this year, it's not really showing me anything. He has the players there, but they're gonna end up winning like 6 games. So, and Cincinnati hasn't shown me anything. Don't get me wrong, but I think this week they're gonna run it. They're gonna have a little bit of defense, and that's gonna be enough to win by 3.
So, Tennessee seems like they have Derrick Henry, but he's holding back the other kid. I always mispronounce the kid's name, so I'm not gonna try it. That's a weird situation where all the talent you have is in those 2 running backs, right? As far as I'm concerned, like I'm not a Tannehill guy. Never been. That's one of those mini helmets that I had signed that I sold for like postage stamps. Like why would I want a Ryan Tannehill helmet? What am I gonna do with that? I want to end up putting soap on it. You know what I mean? Since he's got to win by 2, you would think, right? This is where the trap of this game is. I'm looking at going, since he has to win by 2, and then I think, but why is it only 2? Right? It would be 5 at home. That's it with the Titans. So yeah, I figured they drop a bomb on them. So, but I'm still going to go with Cincy and take the bait. I'm going to pretend that it's not too good to be true because Cincy's a better team. They're definitely a better team by 2. Yeah. You know what's funny is a lot of people don't understand how Vegas starts with a 3. That's like part of being picking games that is never explained to anyone because we are on 4 different YouTube channels. I can only see the people that are on this channel, and there's never anybody on this channel, which makes it easy because I don't have to answer as many questions. But we're also live on Rumble and a couple Facebook things. So people do actually watch this and message me later, especially when they know I picked the wrong games. Like I always get those. I never get 8 great picks. It's always, oh, you missed on this one big. Thanks for pointing that one out. But so basically, let me explain really quick for everybody. You start at a 0 when you're looking at a game spread. Vegas automatically, or they used to say it, they assign 3 points to the home team. Home advantage is usually -3, right? Yep. The spread from there is what they think the point difference would be. So when you're looking at something like Cincy -2, if you start off with Tennessee -3, you got to add 5 to that to get a 2 on the other side. So it would be a 5-point spread if Cincy was home, which to me is a big difference in a game than 2. Like if you're favored by 5, then obviously we're expecting you to win by a touchdown. If you're favored just by 3, we think, you're going to squeeze out a field goal at one point and just win the game. So why would it be closer like this in Tennessee? Because of the home field advantage, and I don't buy that with Tennessee. I don't think they have that much of a home field advantage. So I'm going to go with the Bengals. I think so. That's how the 3 works, people. It starts off at a game, and you assign the home team a -3 in your head, and then do the spread from there. Okay, then, now that I confused everyone but myself, let's go over the 1 o'clock locks. Here's everybody after listening to me right now. I use that all the time now. Whenever someone says something I just can't quite believe, I just cue that video. You know what I mean?
Bingo.
Slap. No, wait, I'm going to go put this one up. So let me run it over, Shawn. We both went with Carolina. We both went with Denver. We both went with Baltimore. We both went with the Colts, which is weird to say Baltimore than the Colts in order. We both went with New Orleans. No, we didn't. We both went with Washington. And we both went with Cincy. So on the 1 o'clocks, we have Carolina +5. We have Denver -3. We have Baltimore. It was a pick. I think it's on 1.5. We have the Colts, which is still a pick, I believe. We have Washington, which is +9. And we have Cincinnati, which is -2. We have 6 locks for the 1 o'clock hour. All right, 4 o'clock games. Here's what I hate about having a game early, like in the morning, like we're having now in England. Like, first off, I hate a game before 10 o'clock. It shouldn't exist. It shouldn't exist. As a fan, do you really want to get up and get going for 10 o'clock? Like, no, really. Like, I can't wake up and be ready for like 9, 10 o'clock.
And then they want to have a Super Bowl overseas. I'm like, what time are we going to have this? We're going to have a Super Bowl at 11 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, you know what? That will be the worst decision they ever make if they put the Super Bowl really late. Because they'll lose. First of all, all the elderly folks that watch the Super Bowl, they don't even make it to the second half, some of them. Right? They got to watch people's court, go to bed. So you put it really late, you're going to lose a lot of people. First off, NFL, I can't figure out where to find the games anymore. Are they on YouTube or are they on Amazon? Oh, are they on Peacock? Oh, this one's CBS, NBC, Fox, NFL Network. Amazon's got one. Like
today's Disney Plus.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm angry. Like I watch the Red Zone channel. I'll be honest. I just put the Red Zone channel on and I'll watch that because I'd rather see that when my team's not playing, Giants aren't on until tomorrow. I just want to watch football for bets and for fantasy reasons. Like you know what I mean? I just want to see who scores, what's going on. I don't care about the actual games, so I don't click on a game. But they do this, and that we only end up with 3 4 o'clock games. And I feel like they do that on purpose so that when you want to do a 3-team parlay, you have to pick all 3 games. You can't skip a game on this because you don't like it. There's a lot of games sometimes I don't like, especially at the 4 o'clock hour for some reason. I don't like the way the spread is. I don't like the game at all. But I got to pick it now because you're only giving me 3. That's my complaint to the NFL, and I'm done. But you know what I mean? Like, don't you like 4 o'clock games, like where there's an option right there? No, they only give you 3. All right, the 4 o'clock games. The Raiders travel the Chargers. 2 teams that just keep changing their city, it seems. Chargers are favored by 7 over said Raiders. What is the deal with the Raiders, I guess? What is up with the Raiders? What can anyone tell me? What the Raiders are 1-2, but they've only scored 45 points this year. They've given up 77. All right. Only scored 45 points. And let's see, what do the Chargers have for points? The Chargers have 86 points, but have given up 87. So right there shows you that the Raiders can't score. The Chargers can score a lot, and they don't care if the other team scores with them. So me personally, I think the Chargers get out early, and they just win by like more than 7. I know that's a real hard spread for people to swallow, but like there's a reason that it's 7 because they're going to win by more than 7. Like the Raiders stink. Like they're not going to be able to keep up with the Chargers offensively. They're not going to be able to match them. There's too many weapons. And what's his face? The wide receiver for the Raiders. Is it
Adams?
Adams? Dude, what's he going to do next about his team? Like he's like, they don't. He basically said they had no heart. They haven't put it together yet. It's like, dude does not want to play there. Just trade him to the Giants for like a year and we'll see what happens. Just get him out of there. But I'm going with the Chargers -7. Who do you like?
There's those coaches out there that can only be coordinators. That
the North Turner Award?
Yeah, exactly. And Josh McDaniel might have that award renamed for him because Chandler Jones lost everything because of him. For some reason, he pushed him over the edge. I don't know what it is. I work in the mental health field. I hope he gets the help he needs. But now it's happening with Adams. And Adams is saying the same thing about him. What is he doing to this team? So,
you know what, though? Let's talk about him for a second. Let's talk about Josh for just 1 second.
Yeah.
Does Josh just go someplace and think, I can run this place exactly like the place I just left? Is that his problem? He just shows up like with his plan, and he doesn't even care about the talent. He just assumes they're all going to be able to follow his plan. Like, I don't think he's adaptable is what I'm trying to say. Is he just taking the blueprint and trying to go other places and use it, and it's just backfiring because nobody likes him? Like, what is the deal with him, in your thoughts?
Well, look at how many Patriots he brought over when he can't, and he thought he'd just replicate the culture. It's not that easy.
I mean, it's not. It is so not. Like, when Belichick left the Giants and went to Cleveland, it was rough. They were not good. No, everyone forgets that time. But then when he got to New England, I mean, he was a legitimate defensive genius and a genius in cheating, all kinds of ways. He's a great. No, he you know, I don't even fault him for some of the cheating because he got through loopholes. He was always ahead of loopholes. Like, oh, I can do this though. But it is what it is. Anyways, I don't like Josh McDaniels myself. What do you think of the spread though? The Chargers by 7.
I like the Chargers just because I think Oakland. I didn't think it at the beginning of the year, but now I think they're going to be top 5 draft picks. And it's so early in the season to say that, yet it's true. The only person I have faith in is Jacoby Myers right now because he's running all kinds of routes and he's catching everything. But Chargers, I think, beat them because the offense for the Raiders isn't as good as they think it is.
Wow. If you only knew what was going on here. I just thought, oh my God, I just thought of the Keurig and I missed it by that much. So I had coffee just go all over. I'm putting cardboard construction paper down to dry it up because that's what adults do. Yeah, wow, that was almost. I thought I was going to go up in flames for a second there, Shawn, but I made it out alive. Just want to make sure everybody knows that I am still alive right now. Just you wouldn't believe the amount of hot coffee that I'm dealing with. Anyways, anywho.
Well, while you do that, I'm going to tell the Shawn Cheers Too Much story of the week.
Oh, okay.
I had Domino's pizza last night, and
which crust?
Oh, you got to go deep dish. That deep dish is pretty good.
But have you had the butter one? It's like the buttery garlic type crust. I don't know which one that one's on. Is that the deep dish or is that the home style?
I think it is the deep dish.
Because Stu one day said to me, out of nowhere, "Oh, the crust on that Domino's." I'm like, what? And then he gave me a whole story about how if you just get that certain one, it's got the lemony, peppery type, whatever it is. And I'm like, all right. And I tried the one he said, and he was right about how good it was as far as like the crust. But I know it wasn't one of my favorite pizzas. It wasn't a thin crust, but I don't know what it was. Anyways, keep going about Domino's.
All right. So Domino's, luckily they're not a sponsor because I turned into a Keurig machine last night, and I was up 3 times last night, and the stream was strong.
Wow.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if it's late at night, don't make it Domino's. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, no. So, yeah, so listen. So here's one thing, right? I'm extremely old. Like, I know this. I feel it. But here's something I've actually progressed in life. I've actually learned. I have to treat myself and my stomach like a gremlin. I cannot eat anything heavy past like maybe 8 o'clock. You got to just shut it down. I want it. I want to eat pizza that late. But if it gets to that late, I actually pass on it because I know there might be a chance that I'm going to have the midnight runs. And nothing breaks up a good night's sleep. Not that anybody wants to know this, but anyways, nothing breaks up a good night's sleep. Like the feeling like, oh, I might have to go. You never quite get rested. You never quite fall into a deep sleep because in your subconscious, you're thinking, what if I got to go? I hate thinking I have to go. I'd rather just have to go and go. It's the sitting there going, am I going to wake up in an hour and have to go? This is not good. God damn you, Domino's.
And yeah, that one fart that you're unsure what it's going to be. Oh, it's terrible. Last night it was like Bo Jackson from Tecmo Bowl was running in my stomach last night.
Oh Christ! Yeah. The bubble guts.
Yeah.
See that? Yeah, no. That's another thing too. Ever since like 2020, right? I went from 200 to like I'm about $175. I do push-ups every day, And I didn't realize that push-ups work my stomach because I'm not that bright, right? So my stomach is flat, which is a great accomplishment for someone my age. However, if I eat something like that, especially if I add like a Coke, it goes brrr. It just blows up. I don't want to say what it looks like, but we know it just looks wrong. And I'm like, it just blows up. Like I have a bubble gut now. Like not at this moment, but if I went to go eat pizza and I had like a soda, definite bubble gut. So like you also got to plan when you eat Domino's. So let's round this up. You shouldn't eat Domino's after say 8:00 every night. You should go for the golden crust pizza. However, the deep dish is delicious. And then finally, I don't know what else I was saying about them, just making fun of Domino's. I missed the Noid. The Noid, they bounce on stuff. Like if it was like avoid the Noid or something like that. One of those. It was a stretch where every company came up with a really stupid mascot and made it like stupid funny. And literally, it might have been the 90s. I don't remember when it happened, but there was definitely a run on mascots. Back to the game, Shawn. Pats go to Dallas. Dallas is favored by 6. Patriots do not look that good, and Dallas scared me last week with that game. And I'll tell you why. I really think the problem with Dallas, the part of Dallas that's not good, is the quarterback. I mean, and the fact that, like, so Tony Pollard, your number one back. Would he be a number one back everywhere? Like, in other words, are you guys saying he's your number one back and you really don't have much, like, to say about him? Like, is Tony Pollard a lead back? I keep talking to myself about this. I don't get it. I don't buy it. I don't buy him as a lead back. I don't buy Dak Prescott as somebody who's, I think he's on the back 9, if you want my honest opinion of him right now. So I don't know. I don't think Dallas is that good. That's what they showed me last week. Their defense is fucking amazing. The defense is brutal. They got a great offensive line, right? I just don't think the quarterback or running back are up to par. Now, the Patriots just seem all muddy to me, and I don't see how Mac's going to really benefit from playing against that defense. But the Cowboys is favored by 6, which is a lot. So I'm going to go with you first. Who do you like as a Pats fan?
I think there was some movement towards the Pats overnight for no reason. There was no reason that it was based in. Vegas knows something. I wish they'd tip us on what it was. But I think Dallas's defense, Patriots have a really good defense. Dallas has a much better defense. So I think besides San Francisco, Dallas's defense, second in the league. So Dallas, I think, wins through a defensive touchdown. I'm taking Dallas.
John's taking Dallas for -6. So I would think Dallas wants to play better because of last week's performance. I would think they would want to come out, and I think they are technically their defense should dominate the Patriots offense. But I can't see Bill losing to the Cowboys. I can't see Bill. This is my upset alert of the day. I'm taking the Patriots to win outright. And my reasoning is simple. The Cowboys are a little clunky right now. And if there's one team in the NFL that can make you play an ugly game and make it like a backyard or out to or back lot like Boston beatdown, it's Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. Like he'll take a quarterback like Dak and just make it a nightmare for him. And you know what? It's going to be defensive. You're right with the scoring. Like it's going to be about field position and all that stuff. This might be one of those really ugly games. So if it's that ugly and it's now +6, I got to go with your Pats. I'm picking your Pats. You're picking against them. That's crazy.
I hate to do it.
Shawn, Arizona goes to Frisco. Frisco is still favored by 14 with an over-under of 43.5. Arizona has proved to be a bad team, blowing a huge lead to the Giants, losing last week, I believe, to the Cowboys when they should have won another game. But 14 for Frisco. You know what's weird is Frisco is so much better than 14 points on Arizona, but they got to score those points. Like, there's got to be an explosion from the Frisco offense. Frisco offense to me seems very like adaptable, but not like I don't know, like they yet to be truly explosive as it could be. But I still like Kansas City. I mean, I still like Frisco favored by 14 over Arizona. Who do you
Yeah,
like?
San Francisco on paper should no problem 14. But Arizona, I think they're stupid enough where they always find a way to fall within that spread. And 14 is a lot of points. And my gut, which is rather big, tells me Arizona's going to lose by 13.
See? So
I'm
see,
doing
me and you
Arizona.
already split on 2 of the 3 games at 4.
Yes.
There's only one more game.
Yeah.
No, it was just the Raiders and Chargers we agreed on, right? The Chargers -7.
Correct.
All right. So to the locks, you can add the Chargers. All right, Shawn, we're going to do tonight's game. Kansas City goes to the Jets. Boy. You know the Jets are, every time you think they're going to be good, tragedy and stuff like this hits them. And they have a quarterback who I swear to God looks like he's going to have a nervous anxiety break at any minute. It just seems like everybody must be hanging on this poor kid. Like, he does not look comfortable. The Jets team is just ugly, and they beat you up on defense. So can Kansas City win by 8?
Yes, they can. I think Jets just can't score points.
Yep.
Their defense is really good, but when you can't score points in this league, how are you going to win? And Mahomes has shown, even against the best defenses, all of a sudden he sends a backwards rifle around the corner pass, and all of a sudden he's scoring with Kelsey, even though everyone knows the ball's going to Kelsey. Yep. Plus, you have the Taylor Swift talk that everybody wants to make this into the new Princess Diana story. So I'm sticking with the Kansas City Chiefs. Got to go with the Chiefs.
So how many points would it take for you to go with the Jets? If KC was favored by, say, 11.
That would make me think about it, yes.
But still, like, you'd consider it. Like, 3 points up, you'd still be considering Kansas City. In other words, 14 points. If KC was favored by 14, would you be shocked by that spread? I wouldn't.
I would not. Nope.
So, with that said, I mean, like, they're going to win by 8 just because the Jets will probably score like 10. Maybe they get a defensive touchdown. Even if they score 17, the Chiefs still score 28. Like, it's going to be one of those games. Even if the Jets somehow manage to score 17 points, Chiefs will have 28. It'll be just more than 8.
I don't follow baseball, but I noticed the Marlins made it to the playoffs. And I was like, the Marlins made it to the playoffs. Marlins have made it twice in the last 10 years. Jets have not made it to the playoffs in the last 10 years. It's like you think about these teams that have terrible names out there, and they're lapping the Jets. Yeah. It's not even fun. It's like watching Stephen Hawking in a boxing match against Mike Tyson. It's just, who's watching it? Who cares?
That's you're talking fun right there. You used the wrong comparison. Because I would have watched that. I would have watched that. But no. So here's the thing. I feel for Jets fans, right? Here's my problem with Jets fans. I always feel bad for them because I'm a Giants fan, I catch the drift of their stink, like, and their problems, and they've been horrible for years. And then when they start to get good, the problem with Jets fans is they start yakking, right? They start calling it Jet Life Stadium. They start saying like really obnoxious things. The Jets don't know how to handle being good, so they start to become good, and it's like the NFL gods just go, you know what? You didn't learn your lesson. You didn't learn humility, and they slap them down, and they like, dude. Being a Jets fan is like mush from Bronx Tale. It's like you just rip up your ticket before you go in. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm going with the Chiefs. So we're going to add the Chargers and Chiefs to the locks. Final game, Shawn. I'm going to lead with this one. It's the Seahawks traveling to the Giants. Seahawks are favored by 1 on Monday night. So let me just explain the Giants and how this game is going to go down. The Giants on defense have Azeez Ojulari back. The difference he's going to make is so profound. Like, I keep saying this over and over and over again. He's just not healthy. But when he is healthy, he's the only guy that can get to the quarterback. He's the only one that I'm positive can always try to get to the quarterback. Kayvon is like playing like a baby. He's not hustling. He doesn't come off the ball fast. And then he sits on the bench and he sulks. because of what he's doing, not the team, how the team's doing. He's paying attention to just himself. I'm already worried about that kid, right? But Azeez Ojulari is an incredible pass rusher. So I think that changes the Giants' defense against Seattle. I think it does. Seattle's line's beat up. There's 3 guys in there that are backups. Now, on offense, here I am hoping we get Andrew Thomas back at left tackle because he's a big guy. There's a hamstring injury. It's been a couple weeks. You should be good enough to back up and push. But no. So I asked this question of you, Shawn. Last week, they had no Andrew Thomas. So they took Josh Azudu, drafted a year or 2 ago from North Carolina, as a guard. And they moved him to left tackle. He proceeded to get destroyed. Here's my question. You drafted Andrew Thomas with a high pick. You also drafted Evan Neal out of college with a high pick, and he was playing left tackle. Now he's playing right tackle, and he's having struggles. Andrew Thomas goes out. Don't you move the best possible tackle from right to left and put Azudu at the right? Why would they not make that switch? Like, I've been wondering about this for like days. It's been like a week maybe. What's going on with the Giants? What's going on with Evan Neal that they don't want to put him from right tackle to left to replace Andrew Thomas? Is it like a mental thing, like a ego thing? Like, why won't they just move the best tackle on the field and put him at left and then put the kid that just came in at right tackle, which is generally an easier place to play? I'm confused. Tell me why they wouldn't do that.
Your Giants make no sense to me when it comes to offensive line. I remember a couple years ago they signed Matt Light to a huge contract, and it was like, do you guys know who you're getting? You're getting a decent player, but you're not getting a all-pro tackle. Now with Neal,
talking about Glowinski.
What's that?
You mean it's Glowinski because they got Glowinski and I'm gonna forget his name, Brett Bredesen. And
well, who's the one you got from the Patriots a couple years ago? Wasn't it Light? Matt Light.
He may have been there for a minute, dude. We've had a bunch of guards come in that they're supposed to be like veteran guards that just solidify the line, and they just never do.
Yeah, that's their biggest mystery for me is the Giants. It's always going to be offensive line. I don't get it. They have a perfect running setup right now with receivers that can block, with a tight end that can block, with a team that it's much easier to run block than it is to pass block, and yet they're horrible on both. And I don't.
Quarterback's pressured on 47% of his dropbacks.
Yeah.
How is that possible? Like, that's not an offensive line. You can't call yourself a line if you're giving up half the time you let people get in on them. Like, my point is, we've talked about this, though, Giants fans and the team, for like 10 years, a decade of the line. From Eli Manning's last few years, all the way through Daniel. There's been no line to speak of. And we keep trying to figure out what to do. We draft these tackles. If you draft a left tackle and make him play right tackle, why would you not put him at left tackle when your main left tackle's not in the game? Isn't that the most important spot on the line? Isn't that where you want the best player available? You don't want a Zudu who came out. He's like as young as Neal, and he's playing guard. You're going to, hey, by the way, now you're left tackle. Oh, we know, because you know the left side calls, you're a left guard, we can move you to left tackle. No, you can't. Left tackle has to be a certain type of person. He's got to be big, fast, get out of his stance. Zudu's a heavier guy that's built to be a guard. He's meant to go forward and push and make moves. Him dropping back, oh no, it was brutal. So, but here's my thing. I still think we beat Seattle. I think the Giants is just better than Seattle. Here's the thing. And plus our defense is going to make it miserable on Seattle. And I think that they don't have a great pass rush, Seattle. They don't have a great pass rush. That helps us. If they give Daniel any time at all, we're going to be golden. And Barkley's proven the point that he's not worth that big of a contract because he's injured again this year. How are you going to give somebody $14-15 million a year when they're not going to play all the games? It just doesn't make sense. I know he's got a hamstring issue. He doesn't want to push himself. But it's just like, I mean, hey, Kirk Cameron agrees. If Kirk Cameron agrees, that's a bad path to be on. Anyways, I'm going to go with the Giants. I just think they can't lose this game. And if they do lose this game and drop to 1-3 before the Bills and Dolphins, I would fire sale. I'm not even lying to you. I would get rid of Adoree Jackson, try to trade him. I would try to trade Barkley. I would try to trade Xavier McKinney, just because all the contracts are up. I would literally try to move Leonard Williams Please get me someone to take that contract off our hands. He's supposed to pay to be this menace on the line, and he's like the fourth person mentioned every time we talk about the line. Like, it's just like, come on, dude. So I say get rid of all those. Paris Campbell, get rid of him. Just Sterling Shepard, please get rid of him. Let's just, like, if they're going to lose to Seattle on Monday night, I'm telling you, on Tuesday, I'm going to have a list of people I want gone. And if I had any power, man, I'd trade all of them, because you go 1-3 and you play the Dolphins and Bills. You're not going to even split those games. You're going to end up 1-5. You know what I mean? Just stop the dismantling now. Like give into it. Trade those old offensive linemen. Just get rid of them. But I still think they win. Like, I think we're that close. No, I mean, serious. I think they beat the Seahawks because that's what they do. I think the Giants beat the Seahawks, right? Go 2-2, and then I have to pray for a split. And I can see us beating Buffalo more than I can see us beating Miami. That's my case with them. The speed of Miami is terrifying for the Giants. Buffalo is not as fast, so we can play ugly with them. But again, they have to win this game, Shawn. If they don't win this game, this is like a must-win in week 4 for the New York Football Giants. You don't win this, you're 1-3, you're out. I think they win by. Of course, they're going to win. They're at home Monday night. Dana Jones is horrendous in primetime. He's like horrendous in primetime. He's like one of the world's worst records. I'm still going with the Giants on Monday night because, like I'm telling you, if they lose, drop to 1-3, forget it. It's all over.
Yeah.
It's all over.
They,
easy scheduled on the stretch, but right now, you got to beat the Seahawks. You got to beat the Seahawks. What do you like?
If the Giants defense can step up, definitely like the Giants. They're always been solid on Monday nights, no matter how bad the team has been. Always solid.
Aziz will make a difference, but I'll listen to you. However,
the Seattle, you think about it. Geno hasn't been good. Lockett hasn't been good. Walker has been average at best, and yet their offense is still chugging along. Now,
Geno's not good. Geno is not good. I'm sorry, man. I end up yelling that out loud a lot, but he's not good. All right.
I don't think he's good. I think he's serviceable. However, I think Lockett has a great matchup this week, and I think Lockett goes crazy, and I think that's what wins Seattle the game. I'm taking Seattle.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna take the upset on that one. So let's review the locks as we wrap this up. So for total locks, we're gonna go with our 1:00 games, which were Carolina +5, Denver -3, Baltimore in a pick, the Colts in a pick, Cincinnati -2, the Chargers -7, and then the Chiefs -8. So how many did I just read off there, Shawn? How many was it I just read off? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 5, 6. Because I forgot Washington 6, 7. We have 8 total. 8 total. Oh, wow. So there's Cincinnati -2, Washington +9, the Colts at a pick, Baltimore at a pick, Denver -3, Carolina +5, and then the Chargers -7, and the Chiefs on Monday night getting -8. Yeah, there's a lot. Right. So please get your bets in. As far as any fantasy last minute updates, without Brother Ray, I'm not prepared to make that comment. I'm not exactly sure who's going to have a big day fantasy wise. That's usually his part of it. But as far as any teasers / prop bets today, do you have any in your head that you looked at?
I like, I forget what it was for Baltimore, for Lamar Jackson for rushing, but I wanted to take that all day. Besides that, I think surprisingly, Pats versus Dallas is going to be under. And those are the 2 surprises that I have looking. Also, the surprise is High Harvest, one of our sponsors. I'm going to try to try them out in the next week or 2. And I'm excited about that for
the record. They're amazing. You can order all this different stuff. It's highharvest.net. You can find all the different stuff they order, and they sell. The cookies they make are phenomenal. But I would say if you're not used to cannabis, I would only eat half a cookie. because I'll eat like one or two, which is what I do. It's rhyming. But most people, I give them a whole, like half an hour, they'll say something really stupid. So if you want to have a real stupid time, just eat one completely. I literally get a call from my wife who's asking me where the scissors were. She was trying to wrap something, and I'd given her one and a whole one. I went back upstairs, and she's telling me she can't find the scissors, and she's holding them the whole time. Can't find these scissors. Can't find these scissors. Like in your hand. It's like, oh, it gave you too much. But yeah, no, they are phenomenal. All right, so good luck with your games. Wait, what was the prop bet though? It was Lamar, and then was there another one, or was it just you?
It was the under for the Pats and Dallas.
All right. I have no props to mention because literally nothing's popped out at me. Like I was like, oh yeah, he's definitely gonna have this in this game. But let's see how we turn out. I'm doing good with Jacksonville right now. They're still holding out 23-7, so that's good. Etienne has gotten me at least 7 points. So he's got over 50 yards rushing, which is golden.
And there's really a final in the Jacksonville game.
And it's 23-7?
Yep.
There it is. So I'm technically 1-0. I know I didn't get a chance to say it on the show, but I get the bet stuff to prove it. Shawn, enjoy the day. Tune in tonight at 7:05 for Legit Paranormal. They're going to be mad at me because I do not know who the guest is. I know it's somebody really good, and I got to make a whole show for it coming up soon, so it's out. But that's also going to be on our website, legitpodcast.com, legitpodcast.com. As far as social media, everything has been switched over to Legit Podcast, DOTCOM. Spell it out. It's legitpodcast.com. We have 8 paranormal shows, 1 fantastic football show, may I say. And everything streams live on legitpodcast.com. We have 3 YouTube channels. It's a couple Facebook channels, a new Facebook page. And if you want to reach us on any of the social medias, even TikTok, apparently, it's Legit Podcast, DOTCOM. Spell it out. Shawn, have a good day.